At a massive global company, have you ever wondered how they really know if one specific product is making money in one small part of the world? Well, it's not magic. It's called management accounting. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how SAP S4HANA makes it all happen. All right, let's get into it. Here's how we're going to break this down. We'll kick things off with a real-world problem, a question that a global company is trying to answer. Then, we'll explore the two different lenses you can use to view a business. After that, we'll see how SAP organizes everything for real insight, how it keeps track of every single dollar, and finally, we'll reveal the secret weapon that brings it all together, the Universal Journal. So, first things first, let's start with the core challenge. What's the fundamental business problem that a system like this is actually built to solve? I want you to imagine this is your job. You're in charge of reporting for a huge multinational corporation. You've got spreadsheets, you've got reports coming out of your ears, but your real task isn't just to report the numbers. It's to understand the story behind them. So let's make this tangible. Meet Bike Company SE. They're an international group, building bikes in Germany, running sales offices out of Singapore, and selling to customers all over the globe. The key thing here is that each of these locations is its own legal company with its own set of books. And all of that complexity leads to what sounds like a simple question, but is actually incredibly hard to answer. You can see the sales numbers from your Singapore office, no problem. And you can see the production costs from the factory in Germany. But how on earth do you bring those two separate worlds together to get one clear, confident answer to this question? To get there, we first have to wrap our heads around a really crucial concept. There are two fundamentally different ways of looking at any company's finances. On one side, you've got financial accounting. This is the official view for the outside world, for the government, for investors, for the tax authorities. It's all about following strict rules and looking at what already happened. But then on the other side, you have management accounting, which you'll often hear called controlling. This is the inside scoop. It's for the managers to help them make smart, strategic decisions. It's way more flexible and is all about looking toward the future. And that right there is the aha moment. To get the real story on our mountain bike profitability, the standard, legally required financial reports just won't cut it. We need to put on our management accounting glasses to see what's happening internally. So, if we need this special internal view, how does SAP actually build the digital skeleton that allows us to use this lens in the first place? Well, it all starts with how the company is mapped inside the system, and it really boils down to three key building blocks that create this digital structure. Let's take a look. First up is the company code. The easiest way to think about this is that one company code equals one legal company. So our German factory, that's a company code. The sales office in Singapore, that's another company code. Each one has to produce its own official financial statements. Now this next one is the magic key for getting that internal insight. It's called the controlling area. Think of it like a big virtual container, a bucket that can hold multiple legally separate company codes. This lets us look at them as if they were one single entity for our internal reports. And this is the solution in action. By putting both the German company code and the Singaporean company code into the very same controlling area, we can finally see the whole story. The manufacturing costs and the sales revenue, all sitting together in one place, ready to answer our question. Okay, the structure is in place. But what about the day-to-day transactions? How do we actually collect and sort all the different costs and revenues that are happening inside that structure? For this, the system uses something called CO objects. Now, don't get hung up on the jargon. It's just a technical name for, you guessed it, collection buckets. Every time money is spent or earned, it has to get posted or dropped into one of these very specific buckets, so we always know exactly what it was for. Let's make this super practical. A cost center could just be the budget for the entire marketing department. A project could check all the money spent on, say, a big trade fair in Asia. An internal order might be used for something even smaller, like all the gas and maintenance for one company car. And here's the most important one for us, a profitability segment. This is the exact bucket designed to collect every cost and every bit of revenue related to mountain bikes in Southeast Asia. We're zeroing in on our answer now. So we have the organizational structure and we have the collection buckets. But what's the really revolutionary piece of technology in SAP S4HANA that makes all of this work together instantly and seamlessly? The answer is a beautifully simple, yet incredibly powerful idea: creating a single source of truth for every number in the entire company. It's called the Universal Journal. You see, in older systems, financial data and management data lived in completely separate sets of books, and they were a nightmare to reconcile. The Universal Journal changes everything. It's one giant unified table where every single transaction is recorded just once. But that single entry contains all the details needed for both the external financial view and the internal management view. The power of this is just immense. First, all your data is finally, truly in one place. Second, you can say goodbye to those painful end-of-the-month meetings trying to figure out why the internal and external reports don't match. They always match. And third, the real payoff, you can ask that complex question about profitability and get an accurate, real-time answer. The system just looks at the Universal Journal, filters for that specific profitability segment, and bam, there's your result. Instantly. So that's how it all connects, from a simple question to a powerful, unified answer. You know, this kind of technology does more than just make reporting faster. It fundamentally changes the kinds of questions a business can even think to ask. And that leaves us with a final thought. If you had this power, this single source of truth, at your fingertips.
All right, let's